Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the Toyota Crown. Now this is more of an entry-level package, so it's quite a bit more affordable than the other Crowns that I have reviewed. Before we get into this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Toyota here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this car. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this is a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid system. Fuel economy is 42 around town and then 41 on the highway, with power outputs being 236 horsepower. Now before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now taking a look at the hood, you guys can see how it's flat there in the center, and then you do have some body line action on either side. Then the headlight design down below is really sharp. I like how that kind of continues into the grille area. And then notice the design here at the bottom. That is interesting. Putting it all together, it looks pretty cool, but it also has a lot of similarities with the Prius. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 225, 55, 19 in the front and over in the rear. And you guys can see with the wheels, you got the silver mixed with the blacked out elements. And then notice the cladding here with the fender flares and then the rest of the bodywork there on the side as well. And we do have some silver trim around the windows. And then here is your full side view with the Crown. Now taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock function. We got the opening here for the hatch as well as the Crown logo there on the back. And popping into said back, you guys can see we've got quite a bit of storage space here. We also have these pull tabs for the seats, so you can lower those down so you can get even more storage. And when you're all done, just plunk. You guys can see the Toyota logo there in the middle of this light bar. And then we've got the Crown logo and then our HEV all-wheel drive badge. And putting it all together, let me guys think about the looks of this version of the Crown. Now taking a look at the door panel on the back, soft touch here at the top and then also down below. It has more of like a Lexus-like look and feel to it. And then I like this trim piece too. And then taking a look at these seats, cloth in the center, and then you guys can see the nice padding on the sides. Legroom in the back's good. We also have a little storage pocket here. We've got vents, USBs on top of that, and this is even cloth. That's interesting. But wow, that is slightly complicated for a cup holder armrest. Anyways, headroom, it's good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, again soft touch here at the top, and then look at the padding down below. All of our window controls here. We also have our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. We've got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors on top of that. And then again with the cloth on the seats down the center portion. Power adjustments here on the side as well. And then you guys can see here with the light and windshield wiper and everything. And then interesting, you've got like a random padded piece right there. And now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see nice padding all around, and then you got the contrast stitching on the center portion. We've got practical controls like our adaptive cruise control, our steering assist on the front, controls to the center stack, voice command controls as well. And then you guys can see the stalks there on the back. And then we have this full digital gauge cluster here in the center. I like the design with this new Toyota digital gauge cluster. I think it looks cool. And then we have a fun animation when you change between the different drive modes as well. And then in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Our resolution's pretty good. And then before we get into the infotainment system, some people have asked me to talk about the sound systems with cars. This one, it gets the job done. We'll put it at that. And then you guys can see here with the shortcut bar here on the side, pretty good response time with that. Overall, I like the look. And then you guys can see the little volume control down below. Interesting, it's actually soft touch there at the top of the dash and then down below as well, even above the glove box. And then in the glove box, yeah, it's kind of smaller a little bit. We do have dual zone climate, if it'll focus on it. We also have heated seats up front as well. And with this interesting little like crevice for the wireless phone charging pad. And yeah, more soft touch there. That's so random, all the soft touch. We do have some USBs here. And then you can see more cup holders. Shifter for that ECVT, your drive mode select, stability control, auto hold, EV mode, and then your parking brake. More of a premium finish on everything. And then, ooh, it's got the cool center console that's usually in Lexus's, so interesting. Good storage. Got a nice padding here on the top. Now taking a look at the window sticker, you guys can see Crown XLE. Here's all of the standard equipment. Got a couple options. Total MSRP $41,523. So this is a little bit more expensive than a limited Prius, just to give you guys an idea of the pricing scheme on it. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let us set off. I am driving this back to back with a Prius Limited, and they're pretty close in price. I think the Prius Limited was like 39 grand. This is a little bit over 40. So in XLE form, this is a little bit more expensive than a Limited Prius. Obviously different vehicle. They're kind of going after a different segment, but seat comfort's good so far. So that's a plus. Ride quality seems to be pretty good too. And the powertrain's smooth so far. Gotta love Toyota's hybrids. I think they do a really good job with their hybrid powertrains. Interesting. Feels like identical to the Prius in terms of like the acceleration. Again, this has more power than the Prius, but it's a little bit of a bigger car. So, interesting. Okay, we'll get another acceleration here. Yeah! Good torque. Yeah, this does feel so much like a Prius. Huh. This is interesting. Handling's good. Now, I've already driven, you know, a Crown quite a few times, and I think I had one for a week, if I remember right. So I've got a pretty good idea of how that car drives. I'm not going to go on a super long drive with this. But I just wanted to get a quick feel for this. We're going to go another way. I want to get a quick feel for this back to back with the Prius, just to kind of confirm my suspicion. And my suspicion was confirmed. This drives just like the Prius, except you sit a little bit higher, and the handling's not as good as the Prius because of the little bit higher center of gravity. So you do feel a little bit extra weight and everything. It's all of that. But I think that's the best way to look at this version of the Crown. This is basically a lifted, slightly bigger Prius. So if you love the Prius, but you want something that is a little bit higher off the ground and has a little bit more space, then that'll do this. But there are some downsides. First, cost is obvious. You can get an XLE Prius for quite a bit less money than this. I think like geez, but the price difference is almost like 10 grand. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big difference. So that's the first thing that I would say is going against this and is a big difference. And then the next thing is going to be fuel economy. The Prius gets like 50 miles per gallon, whereas this gets a paltry 40 roughly. So like 10 miles per gallon less. So I guess you pay $10,000 extra to get 10 miles per gallon less than the Prius. So this is just my opinion. I think the Crown's really cool, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you're basically paying for a Lexus with a Toyota badge on the front end. So that's why there's a little bit of a premium, it seems. It's got like the Lexus build quality and a lot of materials that you normally see in a Lexus. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on the Crown, but I think that this is an expensive, less fuel efficient Prius. And so for me personally, I would rather just go with the Prius. Let me know what you think.